Okay, welcome everyone. Happy Monday again. Happy sunny Monday. Um, let's start on our belly with with our hands making a pillow for your head. And it comes up for me right away, like first invitation. If that doesn't work for you, you always modify your practice in a way that makes the most sense for you. So if that means propping up, it's a Sphinx pose. If that means um, resting on one cheek, you modify the way you need to modify. And before we started the recording, we were kind of having a check-in about how sitting lately, doing more of it, and perhaps like not even in the most appropriate chairs, um, is affecting the low back. As you kind of sink and settle here, the other thing you can consider is any kind of imbalance that's happening in the pelvic area. And it's always nice to have that feedback of the ground. It's sort of, it doesn't have to be with your hands, just where you are in space, the way your frontal hip points are making contact with the ground. So if one's, for instance, higher, like closer to the top of your mat, if one's lifted higher up off the mat than the other one, these are all really good pieces of information into how our posture affects our bodies. So where our tendencies are in terms of compensating. And then just let yourself breathe. Let yourself expand into the mat so much that there's almost nowhere else for you to go. The floor is creating this feedback. You can't breathe anymore. And then when that happens, start to feel up the back body, the back of the ribs, the back of the heart, even the sides of the body, the waist, the ribs. And just do that a few more times, letting your breath not only deepen, but also soften and start to smooth out. If you happen to be resting on one cheek, do feel free to switch over very softly to the other cheek. If you have one hand on top of the other hand, just switch the stack. Just doing our very best here in yoga to create symmetry. And just take a few more breaths. Feel the back of the neck soften. And feel the low back soften. Notice the thighs on the mat. If they feel even, the tops of the feet on the mat, if they feel even. And just take a few more breaths right here before we get into some floor work right here. Send your right arm straight out to the side. So it's in a straight line from shoulder height. And then bend at the elbow. We're going to start with a nice pec stretch. Slide your left fingertips underneath your left shoulder head. Without moving your right arm, push yourself onto your right side body. For me, it feels nice to just pull the knees in towards the hips or towards the belly. Let the right temple or the right cheek roll down. So it's not as much of twist for the low back. As it turns into like a twist for the upper back, really, you don't have to wrench it too much. Let the pec opener be the major thing that's happening here. And you can play around with this too. We'll play around with this in a moment also. Slide your left knee back in space. It won't come up off anything. Feel your left hip kind of line up right on top of your right hip, and how that changes what's happening in your pectoral muscle. And then the left knee kind of just relax, soften. You can do that another couple times if it's interesting, if it feels good. You can do it no more times if it's not interesting and it doesn't feel good. Two more full breaths here. As you're exhaling next, you can unravel yourself, come to center. Feel the difference for a moment, side to side. Big time. And then we'll move over to side two. So your left arm can set up like a goal pose. You use your right hand to help push yourself onto your left side body. And then the knees can stack. Big opening for the left armpit area, the left pectoral muscle. The the very antithesis of typing keyboard. You can play with that deepening action by swiveling the right knee back and forth, or you absolutely don't have to. We'll call it 4 more breaths here. 4 more little baby breaths. Come through center as you're ready. Onto your forehead, take a moment to maybe relax the arms back behind you, maybe on the tops of the hands. And then reach your arms straight out, or reach your right arm straight out in front of you. So overhead, like you're looking straight at your hand. And push yourself back onto your right side body. This time, stack the hips, stack the legs. And you can use your left fingertips anywhere in front of you for balance. You can rest on your right arm. Now, the straighter you get yourself, you can use the line of your mat as a guide. The straighter you get yourself, the more challenging this will be. And if you don't find it challenging at all, you either have incredible balance and core strength, or there's some way that you're kind of overcompensating and not finding the exact engagement. So when you get to that place, your head can stay down. Float your left foot off your right leg for just about a few inches. And then point the toe. Yes, I see Christopher wobbling. You're doing it right. That's excellent. Turn your left toes up, bend your knee, squeeze your left heel in towards your left sits bone like you were going to take a tree pose, but you're not resting your foot on your thigh. And then really squeeze the foot in towards the sits bone. Notice if you're rolling open onto the right glute, try to stay really on the right hip point. And then start to spin the left knee down and the left heel up. Keep squeezing the heel towards the sits bone. Yeah. And then drive the foot back so your thighs are parallel once again. Whoa, this is where the real balance comes in. Yep. Keep squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. Squeeze the heel towards the sits bone and drive the foot back. And notice this time if you're rolling onto like the front of the pelvis, you're rolling forward. If you'd like, if you feel like you can use your left hand to reach for your left foot, you can take the foot with your hand, squeeze the foot in, avoid rolling forward. Wobbling is good. Wobbling is good. Knee in line with knee. Ah. Good. And then slowly, if you have the foot, let it go. Extend your left leg long, hover, 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 and then float the left foot back down onto the right foot. Ah, come back to center. Left arm reaches forward to meet your right arm. Just feel the difference for a moment. And then use your right hand to spin onto your left side body. So the more you're lined up, even with the mat, the more this will be challenging. To make it easier, you can make more of an angle with your body, but it's kind of fun to just wobble around and play. Why this is so hard, I'm still not totally sure. Float your right leg a couple inches off your left, and then turn the toes up, bend at the knee, squeeze the heel in towards the sits bone like you were going to take a tree pose. Notice if you're rolling onto the glute side, your back side, spin forward a little bit, and then turn the knee down, spin the ankle up so the lower leg is parallel to the ground, squeeze the heel in, and then drive the knee back so that it's in line with your left knee. Ooh. And notice this time if you're coming onto the front body, if you feel like you want the challenge of reaching your hand for your foot, kicking the foot into the hand, ooh, belly in. Oh, a lot of things are working here to maintain stability. See if you can bring the knee just in line with the other knee for one more breath. And then slowly let the right foot go. Lengthen the right leg slowly. Hover the foot off the left foot. Lower the right leg to meet the left leg. Spin over onto your belly. Hands come in line with the low ribs. You're going to take a baby cobra, which you are. Roll your shoulders onto your back, all that newfound space. Spread through your fingers. Lift your chest. Point your toes, squeeze the inner thighs in towards the midline. Reach the back of the head up and the chin in towards the chest. Exhale, forehead to the mat. We'll do 2 more just like that. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, baby cobra. This one will take us either to a child's pose or a tabletop or a downward facing dog. You choose. Take your very sweet time here. You have tons of it. Connect to the cycle of your inhale and your exhale so that it's this portable point of focus. Right? The more that we can tune into what's happening right now, right here and now, the more we're able to really live fully. If you haven't already made your way to downward facing dog, go ahead and take that shape for just a moment. We'll be back. And then you can walk your hands slowly towards the back of the mat, walk towards your feet, and roll your way up to stand. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears and then soften the shoulders down your back. Draw your ribs in. So like your ribs and your frontal hip points are kind of squeezing together. And then reach your left arm out in front of you. Plug your left shoulder onto your back. With your right hand, you're creating a seat belt. And wrap your right hand around you for your left ribs. And you're going to do this to stabilize the torso as we take some more shoulder mobility stuff. Lift with your thumb. Lift up, 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 up. And then back, 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 back. You'll get to a point where you absolutely cannot go any further. At that point, flip your palm. So your thumb will point down again. At this point, your left ribs want to swing out. Your right hand's keeping yourself stable. Bring your left arm all the way down until the back of the hand is touching the outer thigh. And then we reverse. Lead with your thumb, reach back, back, back. They'll get to a point where you absolutely can't go anymore. Then you flip the palm, reach up, forward, Pause, plug the shoulder onto the back. We'll do that 2 more times. Thumb up. Use your right hand to stabilize the torso. Reach back, flip the palm when you can't go any further. And then it's like this internal rotation to get the back of the hand to the thigh. Slowly reach back. Flip the palm when you can't go any further. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Reach the hand forward. Last one, plug the shoulder and reach up. Oh. Good sounds, good sounds. Last one. Oh. When the hand's reaching forward, keep it there and then cross the left arm over your body. Just hook the right elbow by the left wrist and give yourself a squeeze in the opposite direction. Release both of the hands behind you. Interlace the thumbs, left thumb on top. Soften your knees, bend the elbows, drag the knuckles down. Keep the palms connected. Roll the shoulders onto the back. Release your hands, give everything a shake. Feel all of the energy moving around that left arm. Right arm reaches forward, the left arm hooks you in like a seatbelt. You're just using that hand to keep your ribs from rotating back with your arm. So you're isolating the movement of the shoulder. Thumb leads the way. You reach up. When you can't go any further, you flip the palm, the thumb faces the ground again. Keep spinning, spinning, spinning until the back of the hand is at your right hip. And then you do it again, you reverse. Thumb reaches back, this one's harder. Oh. Flip the palm. Oh. That was one, we have 2 more. Shoulder onto the back, reach up. And now I have to remind myself of this more than I'm reminding you. The things that are really hard, and this is particularly hard for me, are a lot of times the things that we probably need the most. So perhaps I've neglected some shoulder mobility stuff over the last couple of weeks because this is like excruciating. Not painful, just challenging. Oh. Last one, I'm coming back around. Oh. And then the arm can reach forward, cross that over your body, hook the left elbow, give yourself a little squeeze. It doesn't have to be very active. Release both of the hands behind you, interlace right thumb on top this time. Bend the elbows, shoulders roll onto the back. Knuckles can draw down. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Good sounds. Release the arms, give everything a big shake as you inhale, send the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, carry the hands down to your heart center, bow your chin into your chest and set an intention for your practice, how you can devote the next quarter or 3/4 of an hour, what we have left together, to something that serves a bigger movement that you're working on in your life. So you do that, feel your feet on the floor, feel the crown of your head reaching up, make more space for this body that becomes this vehicle for your intentions. You take your time when you're prepared to move along, blink your eyes open, release your hands down at your sides. Big inhale, arms to the sky. As you exhale, slowly soften the knees, fold forward over the legs. Use an inhale to lengthen your whole back body, hands to shins. Heart moves forward towards the top of the mat. Really move your heart forward and think about squeezing the shoulder blades together behind you. As you exhale, put your hands on the mat, walk your way forward to plank. Hold your plank pose, spread through the fingers, wrap the elbows back, eyes of the elbows forward. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, slowly transition back to downward facing dog. Hug your arm bones towards each other, squeeze. Soften the knees, inhale, ripple your way forward, back to plank. I think you're coming through a cat spine. As you exhale, lift the hips high to the sky, push the mat down and away, downward facing dog. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, ripple forward, arrive in a plank. Exhale, slowly downward facing dog. Beautiful. Look forward. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Exhale, soften your left knee down to the mat. Climb your hands up onto your hips. Use your hands to level off your hips. So left hip is kind of wrapping forward. It wants to wrap back. Use your left foot to really engage your left thigh, and then let your hips sink down. Bend into your right knee. So we're not moving a lot here, but there's a lot of engagement. Good. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Touch your palms, bend your elbows. Bring your thumbs to the back, between the shoulder blades. Then squeeze your elbows in. Lift your elbows up and back as your heart floats up, up, up. Lean your head back into your hands. Last breath here, inhale. As you exhale, hollow out your belly, tilt your elbows forward, forward, forward. When your torso's like resting on your thigh, sweep your hands back towards the back of the mat. Littlest fingers spin down, thumbs spin up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Feel your upper back really fire. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee off the mat. Inhale, arms float up. It's a crescent lunge. As you exhale, soften your left knee, bring your fists to your hips. Inhale, straighten your left leg, send your arms to the sky. Exhale, soft left knee, fist to hips, like you're loading up your back leg. Inhale, arms to the sky, left leg straightens. Last one, we're gonna move with this one. Fists to hips. The next time you are ready to straighten your left leg, push into your right leg, bring your left knee in toward your belly. Good. Inhale, arms to the sky. As you exhale, hands to heart. Squeeze your heel towards your sits bone. Bring the left knee to parallel the right knee by squeezing the foot in. We did this while we were lying on our side. Tilt your torso forward and then straighten the left leg back behind you like a warrior 3. Ooh. I'm hanging on by a thread here. Good. Soften into your right knee. Take a big step back. Inhale, arms to the sky. It's crescent lunge. Actually, I messed up that whole thing. I meant to do it, make it much easier on us. Let's come back, left knee in towards the belly. This will be nicer. As you exhale, left foot down, fold forward over the legs. We'll get there, I promise. Inhale, hands to shins, find your halfway lift. Plant your palms. This time, just send your left leg straight back behind you, like you're stepping back to a plank. Right foot meets left foot, plank pose. As you exhale, you have options. We're gonna lower. You can come down through knees, chest, chin. You can come down through a knees down chaturanga, or you can take chaturanga right away. We're gonna meet on our bellies-ish. You can take a back bend that works for you. Baby cobra, always an option. And exhale, we meet in the downward facing dog. Feel the difference from side to side. Spin your triceps in and down in downward facing dog. So you're making more room on either side of the neck. Good, look forward. This time, step your left foot toward your left thumb. Soften your right knee down. Hands split up onto hips. Just to kind of square yourself forward. Use your right foot, be active with your right foot to deepen into the right thigh, and then let your knee, your left knee kind of sink, let your hips sink. Big stretch for the front of the thigh. Inhale, arms to the sky. I always end up coming out of the lunge a little bit. That's fine. You'll protect your knee quite a bit. Connect your palms and do make sure your right toes are tucked. That'll make for an easier transition. Bend your elbows, hug the elbows in, thumbs to the back body somewhere. Lean your head back into your arms. Lift your heart up. Big back bend. Breathe. Good. Inhale together. As you exhale, engage your belly, hollow it out. Kind of lay your front body down on your left thigh and then sweep your arms back behind you. Palms are down. Your shoulders are rolling onto your back and you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. Big action for the upper back. With right toes tucked, peel your right knee up off the mat. Inhale, arms to the sky, crescent. As you exhale, bring your fists towards your hips, soften your right knee. Inhale, push your right leg straight, send your arms to the sky, 2 more. Last one, we're gonna come forward this time, soften the left knee. As you inhale, arms to the sky, right knee comes in towards the belly. As you exhale, foot down, hands down. Inhale, arms float up. Exhale, fold in half. Halfway lift from here. Exhale, plant your palms. Big step back with your right foot. Big step back with your left foot, you're in plank. Exhale, your choice for lowering. Your choice for taking a sip of air. We'll meet in down dog. So we'll run through that again. We'll add some things. We'll do it a little quicker. This stuff we know. Inhale your right leg to the sky this time. Soften into your left knee so that the knee's pointing straight over the second toe, and then lengthen your left side body. Breathe in. Exhale, coil your knee towards your nose. Step forward. Left knee down. Inhale, arms rise. Keep your left toes tucked. Connect your palms, bend your elbows, lean back, heart lifts. Exhale right away, arms back, heart forward, left knee peels up off the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, step forward, left knee in towards your belly. Good, stay. Lengthen your left side body, right side body. As you exhale, sweep the hands back behind you. Tilt forward. This time, float the left leg. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Big work for the upper back. Soften the right knee. Big step back, arms to the sky. You're back in your crescent lunge. Warrior 2. Push your right leg straight. Sail up and back. Triangle prep. Good, triangle. Take a little rest. You can grab a block. Set it up outside the right ankle. If you'd like, you can always put your hand on your shin. Draw your right kneecap up by engaging the right quad. And then think about lengthening your right side body from your pelvic crease to your armpit. And then recall the seat belt, the left hand. You can do this if it's helpful. Think about spinning your right ribs towards the left. The left arm can reach up when you're ready. Not necessary if you're not. No strain in the neck, please. Good. Look down. Bend into your right knee. Inhale your way to warrior 2. And then exhale, right forearm to right thigh. Circle your left arm all the way up and over. And then just like we did with the thumb, reach the thumb back. When you can't go any further, flip the palm. Oh, so hard here. And bend the elbow, reach your fingertips for your right hip crease. Roll the left shoulder onto the back. Draw your belly in. Beautiful. Soft neck, please. Good. Inhale back to a reverse triangle pose. Straight left, right leg. Right arm reaches up and back. As you exhale, little bend in the right knee to cartwheel the hands down, frame the foot. Spin up onto the ball of the left foot, and then the blade edge of the left foot. Left hand stays down. Side plank pose, please. Push into your left arm so much that you're coming out of your left shoulder. Push into your feet so much that your hips are lifting. Turn the right palm down, reach overhead, breathe. Look down. Release the right hand down. Come up back onto the toes, plank pose. As you exhale, you choose lower down. Inhale to come up for air. Exhale, we'll meet in downward facing dog. We have a second side. Breathe, come back to your breath. Float your left leg to the sky. Lengthen your right side body, soften your right knee a little bit so it's tracking over the second toe. Exhale, coil the knee towards the nose. Look forward and step forward. Right knee down, inhale, arms to the sky. Palms touch, bend the elbows. Low lunge with the shoulder stretch. Exhale right away into your airplane arms, knee off the ground. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Inhale, right knee in towards the belly, arms to the sky. Sweep your hands back. Squeeze the heel in towards the sits bone, and then knee in line with knee. Shift forward with the upper body. Send the right leg back, warrior three. Little bend in the left leg to take a big step back. Arms to the sky, crescent lunge. Collect your breath, exhale, warrior two. Push your left leg straight, flip your left palm, sail back. You have a long triangle pose to chill. So with the thigh, the left thigh, think about lifting the left knee all the way up the leg. My teacher would walk around and tell us, no lazy legs, no lazy legs. And then from the hip crease to the armpit, lengthen the left side body. And if she ever heard me say the word armpit, she'd have my head. She hates that word, my teacher. And then your right arm can reach up. Collect your breath. Beautiful. Look down. Bend into your left knee. Inhale to warrior two. And then left forearm to left thigh. Right arm sweeps all the way up and overhead. Lead with your thumb back, 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 back. And then reach the arm over you. Turn the thumb down. Bend at the elbow. Have bind here. No stress on the neck, please. Breathe. Good. With your breath, reverse your triangle once again. Give yourself a moment of relief. Soften into your left knee as you cartwheel your hands down. Frame your left foot. Spin up onto the ball of the right foot and then onto the blade edge of the right foot. Step your left foot on top of your right or stagger the feet. Side plank pose. Push into your right hand to lift up and out of your right shoulder. Push into your right foot to lift up and out of your hips. Left palm turns down, reach overhead. Good, look down. Touch down. Come down onto your belly or chaturanga. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, child's pose. Just breathe. Shift your way up to table. Let's set up our Anahatasana. Walk your hands as wide as the mat. Keep your hips stacked just over the knees as you walk your hands forward. It's like an accordion effect with the upper body. So you get longer and longer, but you're not shifting your hips anywhere. When you can't go anymore, hug the arm bones together. That's how you'll really feel the shoulder stretch. Let your chest come down, let your chin come down, or let your forehead come down. Whatever makes contact. Notice if your low back is arching a lot and what happens if you draw the ribs in and kind of scoop the tailbone down. Oh, big difference. Breathe. Good. Walk your hands back. Bring your seat towards your heels again. For child's pose round 2, this time sweep your arms at your sides. Let your shoulders really have a rest. Walk your hands forward. Downward facing dog, last little block, promise. Right leg to the sky. Let's just get right into it. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Give yourself a squeeze here. Push into the hands. Squeeze the knee towards the nose. Step the foot next to the thumb. Left knee down. Inhale, arms to the sky. Elbows bend. Heart opens. Exhale, tilt forward. Arms sweep back. Knee peels up. Shoulders squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale, left knee towards the belly, arms to the sky. Exhale, arms sweep back, heel squeezes in, knee drives back, warrior 3. Stay here for a moment. Squeeze the shoulders together even here. Lengthen your right side body more. Slowly step back. Crescent lunge, arms rise. Warrior 2. Push your right leg straight. Reach your right arm up and back. Radiant triangle. Exhale, Trikonasana. Left arm reaches up. Maybe this time left arm reaches overhead. Big QL stretch. Inhale, warrior 2. Bend into your right knee. Exhale, right forearm to right thigh, left arm circles overhead. And then if it's that half bind you're going for, arm behind you, find your inner right hip crease. If you're craving that full bind, reach your right arm down underneath your right leg, clasp your hands, and then lean your whole upper body back. Oh. Last 2 breaths here. Breathe in and out. Release anything you're holding on to. Come back up to radiant warrior triangle. Straighten your right leg, just a little break. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. And then side plank round 2 of 2. Right arm to the sky. Or this time, if you'd like to pick your foot up, step your foot behind you and take more of what looks like a wild thing. Go right ahead. When you're finished playing, you can take a vinyasa. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. No rush. Move slowly, move mindfully. We meet for side 2 and then we chill. I feel the difference here, side to side. Left leg up. Knee to nose. Stay for an extra squeeze. In and up towards the nose. Oh, plant the foot. Soften the right knee. Inhale, arms to the sky. Bend the elbows, lean up and back. Exhale, airplane, arms back. Right knee lifts. Inhale, standing knee to belly, arms to the sky. Reverse it, arms back, heel squeezes in. As the knee floats back, the leg can straighten. Stay for an extra breath. Left side body lengthens. Slow transition back to crescent lunge. Virabhadrasana 2. Radiant triangle. Trikonasana. Maybe right hand down, reaches overhead. Inhale, warrior 2. Side angle, left forearm to left thigh. Half bind, full bind, no bind awaits. Slow your breath. Last inhale, last exhale. The next time you inhale, radiant triangle. Straight left leg, left arm reaches up and back. Exhale to cartwheel your hands down, frame your left foot. Set up for side plank on the right. You can stay in your side plank, or you can step your left foot back behind you. Lift your hips up to the sky. Oh, big back bend. When you feel complete, you'll come back through center. Final vinyasa if you'd like. Kitty. No. Child's pose again. Rest your forehead. Breathe into the low back. And then you sit up onto the heels. Let's take one camel pose. We're nice and warmed up. I feel like we don't do camel pose very much. Another one of those things I could probably use more of in my life. So we're only going to do one. We'll stay for, let's call it 4 breaths. So start with your hands on your hips. You can stop it anywhere along the way that feels like the good place for you. Bring the hips forward so they're just over the knees. Hands on hips always helps me guide them forward as my upper body leans up. And then it's like from the heartstring, you reach up, the chin stays kind of tucked in towards the notch of your throat as you roll your shoulders onto your back. For me, I always reach back one hand at a time, but I also always start with my right hand. So today on purpose, I'm going to start with my left hand. And if you have to lean back a little bit to find your heels, that's fine. When you get there, send your hips forward again. And then when you get to your stopping point, 4 big breaths. Two more. And then bring yourself on up. Sit to either side of your heels. Swing your legs around to face forward. Oh, sorry. Bring your fingertips to the ground. So not a forward fold yet. Let's just neutralize the spine. Bring the backs of the knees down. Lift the crown of your head up. Dandasana, staff pose. Push into the hands. Your arms are really active. You're just not going anywhere. Legs straight and strong. Good. Let that go. Bend your right knee a little. Bring the foot outside the left leg. Right fingertips anywhere back behind you. So if you're not going really deep into these twists tonight, no problem. Let the hand come more toward your side and not all the way back behind you. You can make it gentle. Give your right leg a squeeze with your left arm. And start to look over the right shoulder. And wherever you're going, whatever depth is your stopping point, use your inhale to lengthen and your exhale to very gently move into your twist. Just to neutralize the spine here. Last breath, inhale. Exhale, fullest expression of your twist. That doesn't mean it has to be super deep, just wherever you're going. Unwind through center. Extend your right leg wide. Bend your left knee so that foot is inside the thigh. And then bring your right elbow inside your right thigh. And you can stay just like this. And this gives me a lot of traction here. With the thumb, the L of the thumb and the first finger, put the webbing of your hand into the hip crease. Drive the hip crease down as you reach the crown of the head towards the right foot. That, by the way, is very active, pointing up. Oh, you can stay right here. This feels actually quite nice today. The second option of unlimited is bringing your right hand to the crown of your head and giving yourself something to actually push into. So you're lengthening into the pressure you're putting in your hand. Good. Come up through center. Bring your left shin to just parallel more towards the top of the mat. And then with your right knee, stack the shins for a hip stretch or cross leg. And then let this be a forward fold. We twisted, we side bended. We've neutralized the spine enough from our back bend to take a forward fold here. We'll do the same thing on the second side. You have 5 more breaths here. Come back to the intention that you set for yourself during the rigor of practice. And can you bring the same quality of focus, quality of attention to these moments that are relatively still? Wonderful. One more breath here. Use your hands if you'd like. Make your way back up to sit. And just feel for a moment what comes up for you right here, right in your very own seat. Straighten the legs for round 2 of Dandasana. Toes point straight up, hands alongside. If your palms don't touch the mat here, you can tent up on fingertips, but push down a lot to reach up. Draw your belly in so your low back is lengthening. And then very active legs, almost like your heels could pop up off the mat. One more breath, inhale. Good, exhale, soften, let that go. Right leg stays straight, left knee bends. Cross the left foot over the right thigh. Left hand will come somewhere outside the hip. So you have like a semicircle to work with. And then right arm hugs the left thigh. Baby. You're working with your breath here. So the depth of your shape has nothing to do with the quality of your practice. If you know you're working with something that doesn't feel good and you're backing off of that, I would argue that that makes you the most advanced type of practitioner. You're having your best practice because you're setting yourself up for a great practice next time too. So last breath here, inhale to lengthen as much as you can through the crown of your head, and exhale to take your deepest variation of twist for today. And then unwind through center on an inhale. Untangle the left leg, widen it out to the left. The toes will point up. The right knee will bend, so the right foot comes in towards the inner left thigh. And then the left elbow really pushes into the inside of the left thigh. So the elbow's pushing into the thigh, thigh's pushing into the elbow. And then the webbing between your first finger and your thumb comes into your hip crease. And you're anchoring your own right pelvis, right hip point down. And you're reaching the crown of your head up and away towards your left toes. Oh, you see a hand and you need to put your head there. You can stay with this like anchored position. The other thing you can do, of unlimited things you can do, is bring your hand to the crown of your head and actually push into your head, so that with your head, you're reaching away from your hip, giving yourself something quite tangible to push into. Good. Last breath here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, stay just where you are. Inhale, come up. Oh. The right shin can parallel the top of the mat. It doesn't have to be near it, just, parallel. And then stack the shin on top of the shin, or stagger. Create like a cross leg position. Just for your final hip stretch here on the left. Oh. And let yourself fold forward when you're ready. Take 3 more breaths here. And then roll your way up. Let's take one more forward fold here. Feet together, knees can stay wide, and scoot up quite a bit on your mat if you're towards the back of it like I am. Feet together, knees wide. Just let yourself drape over the diamond shape of the legs. You can use a block anywhere it works to rest the forehead. Let your knees really open to the sides. We did kind of a lot of hugging in today. Couple more breaths. Use this as a segue You know what it's going to feel like to really disengage. And as you start to feel ready, you can roll your way up. Use your hands to help you come all the way down onto your back and take a final twist here. Let your arms widen out like a T. And drop both knees over to the left if that feels okay. You can always use one of your blocks to support the top leg, so you're coming less into a twist. It feels pretty nice. So it's a great way to it's a great way to let your top hip really relax. There's a predator with claws under the door. Kitty cone. You're so naughty. And then take your twist up and over to the right. And bring yourself all the way through center. A nice squeeze of the knees in towards the chest or the belly. Maybe you prefer happy baby as a way to give yourself a final like supine squeeze. It doesn't matter to me. And then make your very sweet and deliberate way into a place that feels restful. Your arms soften down at your sides. Your feet flop out wide. Let your eyeballs roll into the back of your skull. Let the tongue soften into the cave of your mouth. Feel your inner right cheek soften, and your inner left cheek soften. Feel the throat soften. And let your chest just very organically rise and fall with the rhythm of your own breath. So just move out the breath so much. And it's hard to even tell where the inhales end and the exhales begin. And where the exhales end and the inhales begin. And start to come back to your breath. Call your awareness back from all the places unknown it's traveled. You can release from stillness any way the body is calling to you to move. For me, it's kind of nodding the head. Begin to transition back to a seated position. Feel your seat firmly in the ground. Feel this invitation, the infinity above you, to lift the crown of the head up like you're growing. Again, you're creating this larger vessel for your own intentions. Gather your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your chin into your chest. Just honor the work that you've done on your mat, but also the commitment that you make to showing up on your mat time and time again. It's really worth acknowledging almost every time we meet. As you bow to yourself, I bow to you. Thank you for showing up here today. Such a pleasure.
Thanks, Lindsay. It was good seeing you.
Good seeing you too.